Hello, welcome to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I am the director of the Cyber Education and Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Grow West, the Technology Council of West Kentucky, KY Innovation, and our local partner, Sprocket Innovation in Paducah and the Kentucky Innovation Station in Madisonville. This week, we're going to talk about how to build a security awareness program. We want to build security awareness. Security awareness may not be an exciting thing to talk about. It's not technical. It's really about training employees, helping employees, teaching employees. It's about raising the awareness of our employees about the importance of security. Again, not exciting. And frankly, it's an area that we don't spend enough time and money. Um, and we're choosing this topic this week because really over the last few weeks, maybe month, I've had several conversations with individuals and their organizations that asking for help and helping to talk through different things. And really what the challenge comes down to is that they need security awareness. They need to grow and build security awareness in their organization. So many attacks that happen don't happen because a firewall is breached. They don't happen because they figured out how to hack your server. They are attacks happen because of the users. It's because of the human factor. It's because of our people. Now, I'm not saying that all of our people are bad. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of all of our people in our organization. What I'm saying is that we as security professionals need to help our people to make sure they're prepared. So let me give an example. SANS Institute, which is a fantastic organization with a lot of fantastic resources, uh, uh, has a whole program on helping to build security awareness and even convince senior leadership that security awareness is an important piece. And this slide comes from them. I mean, you can see their logo down on the bottom, and this certainly is something that comes from the SANS Institute. And this is showing a timeline across the bottom and security controls up the side. And this just looks at Windows. The blue line is Windows. And since 2002, it's listed all the technical things that have done to improve Windows. Now, if we replace that with Linux, if we replace that with routers, if we replace that with any piece of technical hardware, you would see a similar. We've spent thousands and millions and billions of dollars in technology over the last 20 years to improve the security of our technology. Our organizations have spent thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to improve the security of our organizations. How much of that money has actually been spent on the human factor, on the human OS, as SANS Institute calls it? How much of it has been used to help train employees how to be better prepared to not click on the link or to know what to do if they think they have a malicious email or a phishing email, or they're getting a phone call asking for their password. How much money do we spend on that? Think about your annual budget for last year. How much of your budget last year was spent on human training, on the human factor? How much of it was on technical controls? Again, we'll go back and say the vast majority of security attacks happen because of the human factor. So why aren't we focused on that? So, all right, you agree. Let's think about the human factor. So now what do we need to do? What do we need to think about with our security awareness program? And I really think this is important to look at as well. This is a security awareness maturity model. If you're around security and technology long enough, you'll know that there's a maturity model for just about everything. And this one happens to be for security awareness. It starts where you have a non-existent program. There's nothing there. Then you go to a compliance focused. There's some federal requirement that says you have to have a compliance program or a security awareness program, and you do it so you can check the box so you can be in compliance. You go a little bit further. so that you're promoting awareness and behavior change. You go a little bit further so that there's long-term sustainment of that security awareness and you start to change the culture. And then finally you get to the point where it's metrics framework. So you're doing everything based on metrics. You're doing it because it's part of your internal strategy to make your organization better. Most of us aren't to the metrics framework. There's actually a few organizations around our region that are at that point, that are very mature in their security awareness. Computer Services Inc., CSI in Paducah, is very mature in how they handle security. They're probably actually, I know they're at that metrics framework. They're very mature in their in most of their processes. Um, so there is some of this in our region. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of organizations really anywhere that are that mature in what they're doing with security awareness. That's a goal. That's where we should all strive to get to. Uh, so if you're building a plan, there's some fundamental things that we need to think about. Who are we targeting? What are we going to teach them? How are we going to do it? When we start to grow a security awareness program, so often it is to check a box. So often it is, okay, we need to do this. So let's provide them some online training module that is really boring, that nobody wants to do, but we did it. We forced them to do it. Or it's bringing everybody in a room with 500 employees and listening to somebody speak that's really boring for an hour so that we can check the box and say that we did a security awareness program. That is not how to do it. Um, yes, we need to do some of those things, but we've got to make it engaging. We've got to make it something that people can retain the information, that they're not dreading, that they're actually looking at and thinking, this is a good idea. We should do this. Or I actually learned something from the program. So often it is, here's a list of don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. That doesn't help. It's not, you're not in trouble. You need to deliver security awareness as a way to help employees, not to make them think that they're being punished. And we struggle with that sometimes. And I really hope that you think about that component if you're building an awareness program for your organization. It is really important to do this. It is really important to think about security awareness. So I really do hope that you think about that. So here's 5 steps. Now, are these the only 5 steps? No. Is this a comprehensive list? Probably not. But here's 5 things to think about for your organization as you start to hopefully think about a security awareness program. First of all, you got to secure buy-in, executive buy-in, senior leadership buy-in. If our leaders aren't doing this, then it doesn't matter. If you need to convince leaders that security awareness is important, maybe you're that leader and you need some help understanding, go look at the SANS Institute. Contact me. I'll direct you to how to find some information out about why this is important. This is probably where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck in security, is actually just doing security awareness. Um, Create messages that matter to users. Try to meet the users where they're at. Try to understand their sides. Try to understand what you're building and how you're going to do that in a way that is matters to them. Think about multiple delivery methods. As I mentioned, don't just bring everybody into a room and do once a year or make them do an online module. Maybe there's newsletters, maybe there's posters, maybe there are some interesting speakers. Maybe there's a number of interactive online modules, interactive being the key on that. There's a lot of different things that we could do. Phishing training. We really got to focus on phishing. Phishing is a real problem right now, and there's programs and organizations that actually focus on helping you create phishing campaigns internally to test your employees and help them understand what to do as phishing attacks happen or phishing attempts happen. And then finally, annual training is okay. Uh, my point with annual training is it's got to be interactive. It's got to be interesting. It can't be a chore to make people do this. You want them to learn. You don't want them to complete it for completing sake to check the box. You want them to complete it so that they can absorb the information and hopefully get better at what they're doing. Anyway, security awareness is a really important thing for your organization. It is an important thing for every organization, no matter how many employees you have, no matter how big or how small. If you have 5 employees or 5,000 employees, security awareness is really important because that's how the attackers are getting our organization. If you're going to get hit with ransomware, a lot of times it's because somebody clicked a link in an email. It's because somebody clicked a link on a website. It's because somebody went to a page that's questionable because they were tricked into doing it. That happens a lot, and this will be a great step to help us stop that from happening. I hope you found this interesting. I hope that this helped you out, and I appreciate you joining this week on 10 at 10. See you next week, right back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.